yes. Anything else?
Okay, that's fine. Okay, we'll take the testifiers row by row. So we're starting with the front. So we'll have this gentleman come forward.
Thank you. Good afternoon, council members. My name is Dane Anderson. I'm an attorney and I'm a neighbor, and I was born and raised on Oahu, and I'm happy to say that I'm still able to live here and reside here. I support Bill 85. In my experience living on Oahu, being born and raised here, vacation rentals harm neighborhoods. And they do that because they bring in a constant stream of neighbors. They compromise safety. Nobody knows who's going to be showing up in the next few days to stay next door to them. And there result in noise and other problems associated with these rentals because, after all, these are vacationers. They have no meaningful relationship to our community, to any other neighbors, to any of our neighborhoods. And this ultimately leaves other neighbors scratching their heads and trying to find some recourse. And when neighbors do seek help, it's very difficult to find the owners. AirBnB, VRBO, I don't know if you've seen those websites. It's very difficult to even find the house that is at issue. So for that reason, I do think we need enforcement. Allowing vacation rentals ultimately raise home prices for local working families because these local working families and younger locals seeking to buy a home are competing with businesses. They're competing with business opportunities. It's ultimately a lucrative situation. And that's the great thing about vacation rentals, is that it can really pay a mortgage and then some. And because these rentals are very lucrative, home prices go up. And basically, there are other business opportunities for business owners, for neighbors in our community, and I think we should focus on that rather than these select businesses and these select corporations who are interested in this. And so I just ask that you please preserve our neighborhoods for local neighbors, for people who live here, work here, want to raise families here, and want to know who they're living next door to. Thank you.
Okay, any questions? All right, the next rows here, which is, I'm sorry, yeah, Arvid.
Chair, members of your committee, other ex officio members, appreciate your attendance. I also appreciate your contribution of amendments, and hopefully you have some floor drafts at the next council meeting. Hopefully after you conclude today's hearing, you can recommend to the council a third reading approval and work on the details between now and the next council meeting. Hopefully you'll get this passed and use it as a backup to Senate Bill 1292, which was forwarded to the governor like end of session, and perhaps the decision will not be forthcoming until June 24. And if you don't have, or if the governor vetoes that, you have to have something as a backup, if that's your intent. And good luck, and appreciate the time you spent in hearing today. Anybody want this pen? Somebody left it.
All right, questions? Okay, the next row. Okay, whoever would like to go first?
Sure. My name is Chris Moorman. A little bit of a background story. Originally from Belgium, had the American dream, came at 18 to the United States with 2 luggages, went to college, worked my way through college, got my master's, went the typical route of getting into a corporate career, became a consultant, traveled the globe. At age 50, got laid off, and that was the end of the road for me. So I had to try something else with a young family. We loved Hawaii, so came here to Hawaii, and that's only about a year ago. And so we bought vacation rental, and so that's really helping us a lot. Except for, of course, this is going through. And one of the things I want to point out, we're in one of those buildings that Teresa was just talking about here in Waikiki. And we were also led to believe, based on all the information we were provided, that we could rent out, short-term vacation rentals there. So now this is, tremendous. It's going to just destroy us. I mean, I have 12-year-old twins. So I would really ask you to really look into this, especially, I would say, for the Waikiki area. I know the DPP has expressed that the Waikiki area as overall has the capacity to have vacation rentals overall. And, but specifically, focus on those, I would say, apartment buildings that are condotels and the apartment zone, because there's a lot of confusion there. I'm not the only one. The other thing I also want to say is, some people have expressed that they don't expect that this is going to have a tremendous impact on the economy. I have to disagree. I know already of 2 units in my building that have just been sold in a fire sale at 25% less. This is going to this will happen everywhere on the island. It's going to be just tremendous. So not only am I going to lose my shirt, I'm going to go under, but it's going to be the story of many other people as well. The other thing I also want to maybe, or want to provide, just my thinking on is this whole lottery thing. I think it's going to be really hard to administer a lottery. And if I think back at, for instance, San Francisco, if I'm correct, I think locals cannot have any vacation rentals there. If we would apply that here in Hawaii, that would take probably care of 2/3 of, or diminish the inventory with about 2/3, which it did in San Francisco. So that's one just, thing I would like you to maybe look into, if that's maybe more feasible versus trying to set up a lottery, which is going to take months, which is going to create confusion and maybe will not be totally fair either. So, I think that's all what I have to say. So thanks so much for hearing me.
Hi, I'm Ricky. Can you hear me? Yeah. My name's Ricky Cassiday. It'd take me about 10 minutes to tell you who I am. But let me say that M&M moniker, I really like it. And I got to tell you, I'm for both M's in the M&M. I rise today because...
Favorite candy,
Yeah. I'm going to pick him up. I'm picking him up at the airport, by the way. And I have a big bag of it. And for Tommy's sake, let me identify that, yeah, I've worked for AirBnB, and this time around they asked me to look at 2 databases relative to this. And to that question, how many units are in your area? I can hit a number. I can hit a really good number of the multifamily, single family, how long those guys have done it, and what the rents are. And when you combine the rents with the listings, it gets pretty interesting. And so I'm going to throw out some numbers. And my point of view is that you guys have a very hard job. If I was sitting in your place not eating M&Ms, my criteria would be the greatest benefit for the greatest number. And whatever happens, I hope that's what turns out of this thing, because we are a community and we know each other and we like each other. But let me do the comparison of listings. And I did it just with the data I have and the explosion of listings. Let me give you an idea of multifamily listings from 2015 to 18, 4 years. They grew in multifamily from 827 to 9,495. That's 10 times, right? For single family, the hosts increased from 319 to 2,345, or 8 times. I mean, that was the boom years. And again, the source of the data is very important, and it's your data. It's the HTA hired Eric Cloninger, who went to a very good New York outfit that scrapes all the listings, kind of like I scraped Craigslist listings for you guys a couple years ago in the affordable rental house studying, which Appleseed quoted me voraciously on in their latest thing on the impact of homestay. And their conclusion was that homestay has hurt housing inventory and driven up housing costs. And they scraped my data, like I scraped Craigslist, and then they applied their own analysis. What they should have done is then done one more step of analysis, and that would be using the Honolulu Board of Realtors rental data. It's really good. And both the HTA home listing database gives you zip codes, and so does the Honolulu Board of Realtors. So, on top of what I said about, I can tell you what rents did in this time period when listings exploded. For instance, multifamily, average multifamily long-term rentals went from $2,207 to $2,201. That dropped by 1%. The same time that listings went 10%. If you want to know where the big drop was, it was in Hauula with 102 listings. Palolo, 68 listings, rents dropped 3.5%. Waikiki Kapuhulu, they have roughly 3,000 listings. It went down, rents went down 1.5%. This is not indicative of a housing shortage or a bad effect on renters. You can't see that in the data. So every time somebody comes up and says, hey, we're in a housing crisis and this thing is making it worse, go to the data. It doesn't support you. Do your job. Get the data and compare. Okay, you want to know single family. Single family, again, 800 times, eightfold growth in single family listings. Rents went from 2,764 to 2,684, a drop of 4.2%. You want to know where they went down? Kailua. Kailua had 411 listings, and the rent went down 10%. Okay? Palolo, they went down 8%. Hauula, they went down 1%. Waikiki Kapulu went down 0.4%. So when you actually investigate this and go run data, you go, wow. The other thing I did, I was probably having too much fun, and I'm sorry for your colleagues, but when I have fun, I talk. I then went and compared the number of whole unit listings in the zip code to your city tax assessor database for how many condos they had in the area. So, for instance, Hauula, they had host listings of 184 whole unit condos. Well, the condo stock is 58%. Okay, Laie, they had 51 listings, and the condo stock is 33. Kahuku, 252 listings, and the condo stock is, well, that's 423, a bunch of which, as the council member from the North Shore knows, are the affordable units on Kahuku for the seniors. So, that's the end of my testimony. I want you to know that lastly, because that's my classmate in the back laughing at me, that the Raptors are winning, and I'm really upset. I'm so upset. So I'm going to leave you guys and say thank you for your attention. Unless there's questions. And of course there, and you guys know where I live.
Well, you know, you're making me feel really bad mentioning the basketball game. It's tough enough to have sat here for about 7 or 8 hours, but I'm a huge basketball fan. I've been wanting to watch the NBA Finals, but I'm glad that the Raptors are winning. So.
There's no bad choices.
Okay, what quarter is it in?
Third.
Third.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ask Max.
You got to hurry this up. I got to
Yeah,
get to
I'm
the
out of here.
quarter.
Out of here. Thank you.
No questions.
Is there questions?
Did you have a question?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So the statistics were dealing with rents, but One of the complaints that we're hearing is dealing with
Yeah.
real estate, homes and apartments that are being taken out of the market. You got any data on that?
I do have data on it, and I work for a living. I have 2 jobs, and the night job took over. But here's what I think the answer will show, and that's common sense. Anytime you have somebody coming in making more money off a unit, that's going to drive the price up. And so in those really desirable places, Waikiki, Kailua, East Shore, North Shore. Well, North Shore is surfers, so never mind. Waianae. The prices of housing are going to go up commensurate with the economic return that the owner is able to garnish from doing that. And that's going to be a fact of life until there's, a framework or regulation. Now, I would go way over my head. This is in your job. But to find the greatest benefit of the greatest good, I would work with the industry. I would ask them what is really profitable. And the reason why I do that is because I want them to give you guys a ton of money. I want one of the M's and both of the M's to have a salary increase. And there's no way you're going to do it without going to the pockets of the economy that produces the greatest amount of benefit and harvesting that in a reasonable and logical manner. And that's why I have a small faith in business. I don't want you guys to turn yourself into Hawaii State Senate and decide who gets some marijuana licenses. I thought that was kind of interesting. But, do it with an outcome in mind that everybody can, support.
Okay, any other questions? Okay, so anybody else wishing to testify in the rows in the back? Or...
I'll be quick. I know it's 5 o'clock already.